This week, I got back from Card Party Generation 2, and everybody's been asking, Starman, what was it like? Well, actually, nobody's been asking me that, but I asked myself that, and I wanted to share it with all of you. I know that Deep Pocket Monsters, Pat, and his team like to look at these videos and just get a good idea of what to improve for the next year and, reflect on what they did well as well. So today, I got my notes here. We're going to talk about the things that were good, the things that were bad, anything that I regret, and my thoughts overall. And if you went to Card Party, sound off in the comments and let me know what you thought of the event. Or if you saw someone there that you knew, what you think the event looked like. Now, as we go through this too, you have to understand that I'm coming at this with the perspective that I am a creator, but not big enough to be a feature creator, but I'm also a fan of a lot of the people that you see creating. And to start off with the good, where we stayed was really nice. The hotel, it was a Hilton in Orlando. It's right near a bunch of resorts, so a bunch of people were actually able to make this into full trips, whether going to SeaWorld, going to Disney, or Universal Studios. But it had a really nice pool, actually two pools, one for adults only, one for everyone. The gym was really nice. I checked that out. I worked out the first night that I was there. There was a basketball court, which I actually went to twice, and one of them I will talk about in just a little bit. And there was also a bunch of restaurants and bars inside of the hotel, so you didn't have to go anywhere. Now, outside of where we stayed, this is an awesome opportunity to meet some of your favorite creators and my favorite creators, as well as a bunch of collectors and anything in between. Now, like I said, the hotel was very nice, so a lot of the creators and people attending the event actually stayed there. So it was awesome to just meet new people, to network with other creators, personally for me, and to just show face, because there's so many people that I have met online in this space, but never met in person, so this was like the perfect meetup. So as an example, the first night there, everybody was hanging out at this one bar that was right in the lobby. So I got to introduce myself to PokeRev, I got to see Leonhart, I got to introduce myself to PokeDean, I saw PokeChloe. Myself and PokeVault actually had a drink together. I got to talk to Cool Trainer Ryan, Pokeballer Mike, and honestly, the list goes on. I also got to meet up with creators on a podcast that I'm on, so I got to see Opossum Bud and Gonzo. So that was basically just 2 hours of meeting my favorite creators and people that I would love to work with in the future. So it was nice to just put a face to a name and introduce myself, and to also just talk a bit about life. Now, on Friday morning, they actually did a thing where they did a creator basketball game. And it was kind of like a creator meetup. So I actually just started off the day. I was shooting around with people like ShinyVert, R&D Collectibles, Jay's Corner TCG, and after shooting around for a bit, we actually started to play some games. So I actually played 4-on-4, and on my team was the Bulbasaur, Radar, who used to go by PokeRadar, I believe, and Ruxin34, who's a huge Yu-Gi-Oh creator. And the only reason I even got to hang out with some of the people that I watch on screen is because of this event, which was super cool. Now, another good thing is because I had introduced myself within the first night and morning, at the event, I actually was filming a video the entire time, and I actually have this binder right here, which all of the things that I collected went into. But actually introducing myself to someone made me feel a lot more comfortable the next day asking them to do pack battles with me, which is some of the clips that you've seen before. Now, like I said, I got to meet a bunch of cool creators, but I also got to meet a bunch of cool collectors. So as I was making my video, I had a bunch of kids and adults and everything coming up to me. A few recognized me, not many. Like I said, I'm not that big. But for the most part, they were just excited that I was even making a video and wanted to be a part of it. So I got to rip open some packs with some people. I got to do some trades, all of that fun stuff, literally just for being there, walking around and looking like I was having a good time. And on top of those creators and collectors, there was also the vendors. So there were 3 halls of actual vendors, and it was like mind-blowing. And it was so cool because it was all Pokemon oriented. Not to say that there weren't other TCGs. I did see some One Piece and some Yu-Gi-Oh! But when you're bringing together a community that loves Pokemon cards, you're just going to see a lot of really cool Pokemon cards. Like, there was a wild array of things that were available there. For example, I won't spoil what I actually collected in the video, but afterwards, I did collect this, which is a Shining Noctowl, which was just something I wanted to grab because I wanted to trade for something vintage after completing the video that I did. And like I said, I will work on that. Then I also got to do some fun trades, so I actually opened up a pack there, which had a full art trainer in it that I thought Opossum Bug would like, and he traded me this for it. A cool reverse Squirtle from Crystal Guardian. I also got to take some time with creators that I'm friendly with and open up a bunch of packs, so I did open up a Japanese booster box of 151, and my friend pulled the Venusaur, which is so cool. So now I have this big binder of what I collected for the video on top of things that I just randomly traded for or randomly opened with people that I didn't necessarily need for that. So now I have this really cool binder filled with memories. And if you want one, link in my description to get a code for 10% off. If you haven't seen these on social media, I suggest that you look on people's Instagram and look up at Card Prison. And if not, I'm going to show it off more in my next video. But I'll spoil what's in here if I open it up more. But it was so cool being able to go to vendors during the day, then to go to trade nights at night. And even when you're just looking at vendors, people want to come and trade with you. It was just really nice to be surrounded by like-minded people because as you've seen on this channel, I do go to Comic-Cons and to other events, and to have a community that is built upon people who enjoy Pokemon content is such a different vibe than people who just collect or people who are there for Comic-Con but there happens to be some Pokemon booths. And since there were like-minded people like to collect. So they actually had their own version of cards that were made specifically for Card Party that as you collected them as a fan, you got different prizes. I was pretty focused on my video, so I only collected a few, but there were like, I believe 9 of them, plus there was one for breaking a world record there. Yeah, we broke a world record. That's pretty sick. And in true fashion of Pokemon creators, there was a lot of insane giveaways, like a Shining Tyranitar that was graded. There was a bunch of other graded cards. There was a bunch of modern ETBs like 151. There was Silver Tempest booster boxes. Honestly, for me to remember, it would actually just be too much for my brain to comprehend. But they're actually, the first night, the Shiny Noctowl was given away to someone, not me. I bought that one. Unfortunately, it's expensive. And that's the good things. But what about the bad things? Because not every event can go on without a hitch. And I don't think that a lot of these things are in Pat and his team's control. But there were things that happened that were just not ideal. So first of all, again, nitpicky. I didn't think that the date was very courteous of people who were fathers because it was Father's Day, but there were a lot of parents at the events with their kids, and that is awesome. But as a new dad, I did have to leave the hotel at like 4 a.m. to make a flight to be home to hang out with my family. Just unfortunate. I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but you know, I have to nitpick to pick out actual bad things. Now, number 2, as creators, we kind of had a meeting with Pat. Like, if you registered yourself as a creator, you should have been invited to a meeting. And he did promise good cell service and good internet if you were staying at the hotel. And I have to say, both were very lackluster for a lot of people that I talked to. I know that I could hardly access the internet, and I couldn't even get onto the hotel Wi-Fi. Now again, not necessarily Pat's fault. I do wish that maybe if it seemed like an issue that he would have picked another place, because a lot of the people are creators trying to live stream, and there were people live streaming. They did get onto internet. I couldn't tell you how, but I know that myself, a bunch of vendors that were talking, had trouble just getting things to load. So it did make it hard, like if I wanted to go look up a price to make sure that I was getting fair pricing from a vendor, which most of them seem pretty good. I just didn't really have the ability to do so. And really the last thing is that they are implementing like an arcade area. And I think that Pat has a really big idea of what it could be. So he's trying to implement it, but it was kind of small and lackluster. I actually would insert a clip, but when I went to go like enjoy it, there were kids that were able to take over the area easily because it just wasn't very big. And I just didn't take the time to enjoy it because it was taken over. And again, that's being nitpicky. I'm not there for the arcade area, but when I went to go enjoy it because it was offered, it just wasn't really enjoyable. But I do like the idea. I do think that just adding some more things or some more space to do it would be a little bit better, and you know, it would be awesome. And that's really it for the bad, because there's not much to talk about that was bad. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of good there. But I will say that I do have a few regrets, starting with not staying another day. Now, I wouldn't trade coming home for Father's Day for anything, but missing out on that extra day kind of had me not able to enjoy so much because of this next part that I regret. Now, like I said, I did a binder completion video, and I'm not going to spoil what it actually is about, but I didn't do like proper research beforehand. Comes down to my fault. I regret not researching it beforehand to make it a little bit easier, because I spent a lot of my Friday working on this and like half of my Saturday working on this. So I only had half a day to enjoy everything else that was there and work on my personal collection and things that I wanted to see. But I had plenty of fun at night. Like I said, I got to meet with other creators. I went to bars, I went to restaurants, I met up with the people that I wanted to meet up with. I just wish that maybe I had some more time at the venue, not stressing to find cards that I needed. And the last thing that I'd say I regret is I didn't introduce myself to everybody that I wanted to. Like, I said that I introduced myself to Pokedean. It was kind of like we were passing each other as we were both leaving the bar that night, and I just introduced myself because I've been in his DM. But then there's other creators that I had like more of a conversation with. He's someone that I wish I did. Someone like Leonhart or Mystic7, like I wish that I actually went up to them and said hi. Didn't have to be a long conversation, but I kind of missed my opportunity to do so, so I regret it. But overall, my overall thoughts, I think it was an awesome event. I think that Pat and his team did a really good job. I am very excited to go back. There are 2 dates next year, so be sure to look out for those. I really appreciate the opportunity to meet the friends that I've made online, put us all into the same place, that we get to do what we love and the reason that we connected, which was to collect cards and open cards and everything Pokemon related. That brings me back to my childhood. That probably brings you back to your childhood, or if you're a child, keep seeing your childhood. Stay there. It gets worse as you get older. Nah, I'm kidding. But seriously, thank you, Pat, for putting this on. I really appreciate what you did. I think that a lot of people that were there appreciate what you did. And again, be sure to drop a comment and let me know what you thought of Card Party, or if you saw your favorite creator there, what it looked like. But hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I'll catch you in the next video.